Hey guys, it's Mally here from C Spot Run, and this is Pickle. So Pickle is the latest addition to our family. He loves to bite my hair, don't you? He's 10 weeks old right now. We've had him for just 2 weeks now living with us, and you know what? It's really exciting having a puppy in the house. He definitely keeps me on my toes, especially considering that we've got 2 toddlers, 2.5 and 5 years old, also living here, and we've got a very senior citizen age dog that we have to be quite careful with as well. So I thought today for the Facebook Live video, I would introduce Pickle, but also talk a little bit about what our first 2 weeks experience has been like, and what kind of household management strategies that I've put in place that have been working really well for us, you know, just to kind of manage toddlers, puppy, and senior citizen dog. So on the day that we brought Pickle home, we transported him from the breeders in this soft crate, the blue one that you can see behind me. It's a soft collapsible crate with just a very simple liner across the bottom, and I've got a comfort blanket in there. It wasn't the comfort blanket that I had sent to the breeders for them to kind of pick up the scent of the litter. Unfortunately, they lost the one that I had sent them, so that was just one that we had at home from when Holiday was born. Puppy's attacking my treat pouch right now. Sorry. Anyway, so we lined the bottom of the crate with that. We transported him in the car in that, and he pretty much slept the whole way. It was probably a pretty big day for him. And he took to that crate within day 1 without me needing to really do too much. I didn't need to lure him in there with food treats or anything like that. He was really quite happy to feel safe and secure in that crate from the get-go. So on night number 1, I put that crate next to my bed, just in case he was a little bit unsettled at first night, not sleeping with his other litter mates. So what I did is there's actually a zipper opening at the top. So when it was next to my bed, I closed off the zipper openings to the side so that he couldn't get out in the middle of the night and wander through the house. But I did unzip the top, and then if he was feeling a little bit unsettled, I just put my hand down and just reassure him. And he pretty much just fell straight back asleep after I did that. I did have to wake up a couple of times the first couple of nights just to take him out for toilet breaks. So if he was sleeping for a period of a few hours and then woke up with a little bit of rustling and stirring in that soft crate, then I could hear it. And I just kind of lifted him out, took him outside to the grass. He did his business, straight back into the crate, and he was pretty good about resettling. So we kept it that way for the first, say, 5 or 6 nights, and then in the middle of the night to take him out for toilet breaks anymore. So I put him in, this is kind of acting like my playpen, which is in the common area of my home. So it's adjacent to the kitchen, and it's in the dining room of my home. So it tends to be quite a high traffic area. So I put the soft crate inside the playpen area, and then during the day, he's got a soft bed in there, but at night time I take that out and I just pop just your regular old pee pad at the very back of the crate, away from his water bowl and his sleeping crate. And so if he needed to use the toilet in the middle of the night, then he could get up and just use that, which he did use for the first couple of nights. I think I came out in the morning and there was a pee stain on the pee pad. But then after that, he's been dry pretty much every night. So that's with me taking him out for the last pee at about 10 o'clock at night, and then waking up in the morning, say at 6 a.m. and taking him out straight away to the grass. So he's been pretty good that way. So during the day, I bring the soft crate out and it stays in this extra large playpen. I'm calling it a playpen. For a small breed dog, it's a playpen, and Bichon Frises are certainly small breed dogs. But it is an extra large size crate, so if you had a dog like a Great Dane or a Rottweiler, this would be the size of crate that you would use for that, for crate chaining that size of dog. But for me, it makes a great playpen. I started out on day 1 with a playpen, like a child's playpen, and I just decided not to use it. There were too many problems with teaching my 2.5-year-old daughter not to try to pick the puppy up and out over the side of the crate. I have certainly learned that 2.5-year-olds are not great at handling puppies, and you do need to take a lot of time and care in teaching that age of child how to be gentle and not to pick the puppy up, because the chances that they will drop them are really, really high. So you have to be very, very careful and monitor really closely any interactions. So I found for us, I felt a lot safer if I wasn't able to supervise the puppy and my toddler at the same time, about teaching her the boundaries about not ever putting herself in the crate, but also not opening the crate doors. So that seems to be working a lot better for us than the playpen option, which is, you know, what a lot of puppy owners do, provide their puppies in a high traffic area of their home. I still think that that's okay for some people, but just for our situation, I felt a little bit better about this. I also like the fact that with the extra large size crate, that if he does want to be let out of the crate, and I think it's time to let him out of the crate, I usually make him have 4 paws on the ground and to not be making any noises when I do open the crate door. So it kind of stops that jumping up behavior at the sides of the playpen, you know, the playpen sides that I often experience with young puppies. So just making sure you're not reinforcing the jumping up with letting them out of the playpen or the crate. So we're trying to do a lot of that style of training. What else can we say about you? He's very bitey. I'm lucky, he's a small breed dog, so his bites aren't that hard. You've got pretty good bite inhibition for this age. So he's actually been really quite good with not biting the kids. My kids have been pretty well trained to understand to never engage or interact or play with him unless they've got a large stuffed toy like this, the longer the better, between his sharp mouth and their hands. So they've been pretty good about that. They also, he had his first frap last night, so he's been with us for 2 weeks. He's been pretty calm and placid while he's been in the house. And I think that's just a tribute to the fact that he is a companion animal breed. He's pretty chillax. But last night he had his first frap. So at about dinner time, he was outside in the garden with my 5-year-old. My 5-year-old was playing in his sand pit, and Pickle just started to do the terror rounds. I think in the US and Canada we call it zoomies. FRAP stands for frenetic random activity period, which is what we often see these little puppies going through on a couple of times a day, especially when they're, I think, overtired or sometimes have too much energy, and it's just like a rocket firing off and they're just bursting off that energy. So fortunately my 5-year-old son learned the hard way. He was in the firing line being in the sand pit at the same time as Pickle when he started to have the frap, and he did get a bit of a nip on his back. And this was interesting for me to learn as well, is because my 5-year-old, you know, came into the house and he was really quite upset about it. And he was upset because he kind of thought that Pickle did it because Pickle didn't like him. And so I spent quite a bit of time explaining to my son that, you know, Pickle didn't bite him because he doesn't, you know, dislike him. He bit him because that's a natural behavior that puppies often do, especially when they're overexcited. And so he seemed to kind of understand that and feel a little bit better that he wasn't being targeted or singled out with aggression that Pickle was giving him. So that was a learning experience for me. It's spending a bit of time teaching children that biting with puppies is pretty much par for the course, and that we do the best we can to manage the situation and make sure that we're not putting ourselves you know, in a situation where we're more likely to get bitten than what we might like. Also too, I just find for those times of day when things are a little bit hectic around the household, so, you know, usually during meal times when my son and daughter are having breakfast, or if I need to be making dinner and I can't be watching Poppy and things, then that's when I'll pop him into the crate. And he's pretty well conditioned to know that when he's in the crate or in the playpen, to just settle and relax. And if he is pretty active, then he's got things inside of the playpen that he can chew on. There's a little bit of a pig ear strip, There's a deer antler. I also like the roo sticks right now. Those seem to keep him occupied, and he'll chew on those and play with those for a little bit, and then he usually just pops himself into his soft crate and goes to sleep, which is fantastic. I've also started taking him out and about for socialization experiences. So taking him out on the sidewalk out in front of my house, introducing him to the neighbors. He's been to the vet clinic, he's had his nails done for the first time. All of these experiences, of course, have been done very gradually, slowly, and with lots of positive rewards. So lots of happy jolly, lots of cuddles, lots of access to food treats so that he doesn't find anything too scary or overwhelming. So certainly I think at this stage I'm making sure to get him out at least once a day, if not twice a day, just for some short little socialization experience or walk outside of the four walls of this house. And he seems to be going pretty well with that. He approaches things quite quietly and cautiously, but then after a couple of introductions he approaches things with much more adventure and a sense of curiosity, so that's quite natural to see with puppies. With regards to training, a lot of our initial training is just being done at home, so we're working on establishing eye contact and engagement, doing a little bit of work with the sit, and we are attending a puppy class. I got asked the other day if I was going to take him to a puppy class, and yeah, I am attending a puppy class with my good friend and colleague Libby Young at Double Bay Vet HQ, and we are really enjoying it. So far Pickle hasn't done much in class. He's pretty much just happy to sit under my chair and go to sleep, but who knows, maybe next week he'll come out of his shell a little bit more. But it's a really fantastic class, and I'm actually learning a lot from it. So I encourage anybody watching that has a puppy, definitely look into taking your puppy to a puppy class, especially one that's run by an instructor that has taken a puppy instructor's course as well as a dog training course, and uses positive reinforcement training techniques, and you'll get a lot out of it. So it's amazing how much there is to learn about puppy behavior and how to manage having a puppy living in your home. I can't think of what else I would tell you other than that. So socialization training, we're of course doing toilet training. He's been pretty good on that. So my husband and I both work in and out of home, so we have lots of opportunities throughout the day to take him out to the grass and make sure that he's emptying his bladder and his bowels. We've actually had very few accidents in the house. I think that's also because we are crate training, so if we are unable to monitor him when we are at home, or if we're out for a short period, he is in the crate, and he's not really inclined to soil close to where he sleeps, and he seems to be preferring to pee and poo on the grass, which is fantastic. For the first week or so I was having to carry him out there because there is a set of steps to get up to the grass, but he's managed to conquer those steps himself now, so he's actually taking himself out to the grass if we've got the back door of the house open, so that's fantastic. Yeah, and you can see behind me he's pretty much decided it's nap time. His day-to-day routine is, wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. He's pretty alert and active because he's recharged his batteries, so we do a bit of tug play in the living room after he's gone to the toilet. I might do a little bit of training with him in exchange for some food, and then he's usually pretty quick to go back down for another nap. So his day kind of oscillates between these awake and sleep periods. I think with an older dog you probably get longer sleep periods and longer awake periods. With puppies it tends to be much shorter than that. So he tends to sleep hard, play hard, and especially like after we do like a socialization walk around the neighborhood, or go anywhere, he's certainly keen to have a good sleep, to sleep that off. So anyways, I hope that I've been able to enlighten you with some of our early puppy training experiences and how we are managing things in our own home with having a puppy. So far things are going pretty good, and I look forward to updating you guys as we continue to go forward. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to do so in the comment thread after this video has been posted. I'm always happy to answer anything that I can. And in the meantime, I hope that you have as much training success as I do, and I hope you have a tail wagging day. Thanks, guys!